Kia ora, good evening. The number of substantiated child abuse cases in Invercargill leapt up 27% in the year ending June 2013. Ministry of Social Development statistics show 281 distinct clients in the city. This compares to 222 in the previous year. A 10% rise was also recorded for Invercargill in the number of reports of concern made to Child, Youth and Family, including family violence referrals from police. There was, however, a slight drop of 2% in those requiring further action. Nationally, there were over 17,500 individual cases of substantiated abuse findings, which was marginally lower than last year. Emotional and physical abuse cases were down on the previous year, while sexual abuse and neglect cases rose. The National Animal Welfare Advisory Committee is proposing some changes to the code which guides farmers on dairy cattle welfare. A consultation has been launched asking for comments on the proposals, which will run until the 3rd of December. As long-term confinement housing for dairy cattle becomes more prevalent in New Zealand, the consultation suggests new minimum standards to provide for behavioural needs. Proposed changes include ensuring dairy cattle have enough room to lie down and ensuring bedding material or a soft surface is provided in certain instances. Southland's Provincial President at Federated Farmers, Russell McPherson, says the region's dairy farmers are already doing enough to ensure the welfare of their stock.
So most dairy farmers will be doing above these standards, and it's just really the idea of the welfare code is that that's the minimum standards that as a community we demand to look after dairy cows or livestock. It's the whole story, you know, if you don't look after your animals, they won't look after you. So if you abuse them, don't feed them well enough, they won't produce the milk to give us income.
And is Southland seeing a move towards longer term housing of dairy stock or off-pasture management systems?
Yes, there's a move towards that. It's part of the answer for some of the environmental issues we've got in Southland, but it's not the total answer. And let's be careful here that we don't make rules and put in place rules that inhibit farmers to go about their business. Yes, cubicle sheds are lovely in the wintertime, and they do have less environmental risk to the environment. In other words, you can control the runoff. But a poorly managed shed can have a very huge impact on the environment. And so what we're saying, as the Federation is saying, is that we need horses for courses. In other words, it's what suits your farming and your financial position. Let's remember, a wintering shed will cost you up to $3,000 per animal. So if you've got 600 cows, we're looking at $1.8 million.
Is there any fear that these changes might add extra financial pressure to farmers who are looking at building wintering sheds?
Absolutely not. People who are building sheds now are building them probably above the code. And so, once again, if you don't look after your livestock and if you have them in cramped conditions, they won't produce that income that we all really need to pay our bills and our mortgages.
Do you think enough's being done to protect the welfare of dairy cows at the moment?
Absolutely, yeah. I think these are minimum standards, and I think most farmers will be well above these minimum standards.
Do you think there's any more that should be looked at when they're considering in this consultation process?
No, I think everything's looking pretty good. I think farmers can live with it, and we can go about our business, and the community can be well and truly certain that minimum standards are going to be met and on our farms, which is really important.
The loss of a major sponsor and spiralling event compliance costs have forced the Te Anau Harness Street Racing Committee to cancel the 2014 event. The first races were held in 1993 and ran for 11 years. However, increasing costs saw the event take a break for 8 years before making a comeback in 2011. Harness Race Chairman Vaughan Greig says the regretful decision not to hold the races was due in part to the loss of a major sponsor, but also increasing costs and red tape, including obtaining a gambling licence and stringent health and safety requirements. Mr Greig says these factors had drastically increased the amount of volunteer and committee time required to run the Te Anau Harness street races. The committee is asking the community for any suggestions about running future events and is not ruling out a return to street harness racing in Te Anau in 2015. From next month, telecom customers will be offered the option of signing up for a naked broadband plan. A landline phone will no longer be required if consumers opt for the naked DSL option, an option many telecom competitors have been offering for some time. Since the arrival of cellular phones, consumers have begun moving away from the traditional landline option, choosing instead to use a mobile phone as the primary means of communication. Telecom spokeswoman Holly Wilkinson says naked DSL would be offered to those telecom customers who had a postpaid mobile account with Telecom on one of its ultra mobile plans and a broadband plan with at least 80 gigabytes of data. Between 10 and 15% of new telecom broadband subscribers are choosing a plan without the additional cost of a landline. Stay with us. After the break, Orphans Aid and a Moving On Expo at Southern Institute of Technology. Welcome back. A homegrown charity is calling for Southlanders to get creative for a good cause. Orphans Aid International, a charity founded in Invercargill in 2004, is inviting the public to design T-shirts for the organisation. The contest will promote awareness of the cause and raise funding for projects running in Romania, India, Uganda and Russia. Invercargill Orphans Aid Op Shop Manager Catherine Casey hopes the contest will show people how important the work is that the organisation does and is firmly behind Southlanders entering.
The T-shirt contest is running at the moment until the 11th of November, and we're just getting people to submit their designs of the T-shirts to raise awareness of Orphans Aid and the work that we're doing. And it's open to everybody and anybody. You can enter as many times as you like, and I'm pushing it because I'd love Southland people to win the contest. The designs win, the three winners win their T-shirt being printed and a $50 gift voucher here at the shop. But it is open to anybody in New Zealand, but because it started here in Southland, I'd love some Southlanders to win it.
What are you trying to promote with the contest?
We're just trying to promote awareness of Orphans Aid and the work that we do here, and just basically that.
And why is it important to raise awareness for this organisation?
Just to get people on board and to be aware of the work we're doing, and so they can be encouraged by what we're doing to help us to help the children, because they really don't have a future if we don't get in there and help them.
Tell us a bit about the work that Orphan Aid does.
Well, Orphans Aid has an orphanage in Romania. They set up there from the very beginning. There's a street feeding program and a medical program and education program in Calcutta. In Uganda, there's just a small team of people on board helping a small orphanage there. And in Russia, there's again some street feeding programs going on and a centre there for orphaned and abandoned children.
And why would you encourage people to get involved?
And sometimes we need to look outside ourselves and think of something bigger than ourselves, and just to help people, to make the world go around, to make it a nicer place. And actually it's a really good feeling inside too when you help someone who can't help themselves. So for me personally, it's that good feeling that I know I'm doing something that can help somebody else, and I'm sure plenty of people out there want to do the same.
Moving on from study was the aim of an expo today at the Southern Institute of Technology. Today's inaugural Moving On Expo targeted students about to graduate from courses at the end of the academic year who may need help in orientating from a life of study into a life of job seeking and full-time employment. Students could receive help and advice with banking, taxation, budgeting and also how to prepare a successful job application for employment in their chosen field of expertise. Employment agencies also took advantage of the expo and the opportunity it provided to meet some of the future graduates who will soon be registered as job seekers. For 150 years, they've been a significant part of the Invercargill community, and this weekend, the Invercargill Fire Brigade is planning to bring together members past and present to celebrate a century and a half of achievements. Invercargill residents are invited to an open day this Saturday at the Invercargill Fire Station, which will showcase the history and equipment used by the local heroes. Although there are several events solely for the brigade members, Invercargill Senior Station Officer Alan Goldsworthy is expecting the weekend to be a big success for brigade members and the public alike.
Friday night's a meet and greet, which is an informal get-together with the past and present members where they can have a catch-up over a couple of beers or something. Saturday we've got an open day at the fire station, which is open to the public. There'll be demonstrations of fire appliances, plus there's a few static displays as well, and St John are involved too with their youth group doing a barbecue. So the street outside the fire station is going to be closed off, so the turntable ladder is going to do a display, as will our new aerial appliances. So it's going to be a busy day from 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, so if you've got nothing to do, come along and have a look at the fire service.
And what would you say it's a celebration of?
It's just in the fire service, it's a lot of camaraderie and things like that, so it's just a chance for mainly the ex-members to come along and renew old friendships and talk about the old days and have a few laughs.
So tell me why you think it's important to have recognition of the fire brigade.
Well, I think it's very important to remember the history of the fire service and the struggles that firemen used to have looking after their city, and where we have got to from now, and all the old stories and some of the hard work we had to use with some of the gear and even the people before us, the hard effort they used to have to put in.
And what's your thoughts on the celebrations this weekend?
I'm looking forward to it. After being in brigade for quite a long time, you get a lot of friends. It's a big family gathering, and looking forward to meeting a lot of them, chewing over the fat, and sort of having a good time of it.
That's it from us. Coming up in sport, sports journalist Joseph Romanos. From the news team, good night.